This beam is over 13 feet long. To build my lean-to, I need to stand it up right. Can I do that without a crane? Sure I can. I hope.
Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here, I'm glad you dropped by. If you've been here before, I'm glad you're back. This is my third video on building my lean-to, and today I'm back on the roof of my building trying to remove my gutters.
Ooh, that was good. Now let's set it
Some
on
of the
roof.
screw heads stripped while trying to remove them, so I had to grind the heads off, and that left a little stud sticking up, making it difficult to slide the gutter out. After prying up in all the right places, me and my nephew James finally got it to come out.
All right, coming out.
Throw me a rope, I can put it in.
The next section of gutter, I missed taking out one of the screws, so I had to climb out on the roof to get it.
Show my butt to the camera.
Then, all of a sudden, it got real easy.
Got it!
After that, taking down the rest of them was a piece of cake.
Ready when you are. All right, this was the last piece. Got all this gutter down from up here. If you saw last week's video, you might have seen that that very first piece was a struggle because I had spray foam in there fixing some leaks that I had, and it was stuck in pretty good. But these only had this foam right here, and that didn't hold. That was real easy to get off. So next, I got to pull a paneling off the side of the building so I can get to that beam, make some base plates, and we'll really get going there. So I think I'm gonna work on them base plates next. I'm gonna use this 3/8 plate to make a base plate that my beam will weld to. Then my base plate will be anchored to the bolts in the concrete. Now this 3/8 plate I've had a long time, and I could just program to cut out a 10-inch square with 2 holes, but that's a waste of material. So it's easier just to set the machine up manually to cut a straight line. And that's what I'm going to do. So let me just measure out 10 inches here and 10 inches here. Don't need that one, but anyway. And I'll set my machine to just cut all the way straight down. Now that it cut all the way down, I have a 10-inch wide strip. Now I'm going to make horizontal cuts this way to make 7 inches from here to here 6 times. And that'll make my 6 plates. All right, I got this plate set at where I can put each plate in up against here and up against here so that it goes in the same spot for all the plates. And I could drill the holes with a drill, but it's so much easier just to cut them out with this. So I wrote a little program just to cut 2 holes in each plate where they'll bolt anchor to the concrete. So let me start it up. Lost continuity.
My CNC machine and the G-code I used had a problem, but I finally got all the holes cut. Now, back outside to remove the siding covering the first beam I need to work on.
It's stuck right on this. I got it. Okay. Let's hold it there. Keep going. Well,
I used a lot of expanding foam over the years to control the water during heavy rains coming in from the north. Another reason I'll be glad when this lean-to is up. Near the top of this beam, I will weld a cross beam over to my upright, and that will make the frame of my roof of my lean-to. Now I need to figure the angle that the cross beam is going to slope from the building to the upright beam. Calculations on this several different ways, but I just wanted to verify with my own eyes, so I made a temporary upright out of plywood. I had to make sure everything was plumb so the angle would be right. In my head, I thought this would be easy. Then I realized this is way up in the air. I need to add some more plywood. Then I attached a string line from the building where I plan on welding my crossbeam and ran it over to the temporary wood beam and measured the angle. It came out exactly what I had calculated. Now I feel a lot better about cutting the angle on my beams. If you saw last week's video, then you know I bought a new saw knowing I was going to build this lean-to. I wasn't sure if it would cut these H-beams, but I'm going to give it a try. Well, that looked bad, but the saw is okay. I had planned on flipping the beam over to finish the cut, but I decided it would be just as easy to cut the rest of the way with a cutoff wheel.
Maybe I better cut it where it sits. Yep, we're gonna do that.
With the beam cut, now it's time to put down the base plate and get ready to position the beam onto the plate. I'm going to use my 2 scaffold towers and my small chain hoist to lift up the beam, set it in place, tack weld it. Then I'll take it to the shop and weld it out. Let's get to work.
Well, it's the next day. I got it welded on, painted, and stood up. Now we're going to move over to the corner of the building, remove some tin there so I can get a measurement from the corner building to the corner post. Let's go do that. I'm pulling this tin off because I want to get to my beam on the other side of this wall because I want a good measurement from this beam to where that beam's going to be, so it matches the other beam I put up. Plus, I got rust down here at the bottom, and I just think I want to replace this tin anyway. I put this block of wood on here because when my buddies came over, they didn't see these bolts sticking out and they stubbed their toe. So that's why I got this wood here. Well, it looks like there's concrete buildup here. I'm gonna have to grind down a little bit so this will sit flat. I'll get that later.
I got the measurement I needed, tacked my base plate to the upright as I did before, took it to the shop and welded it out. Later in the day, I painted the beam, and the following day, I put it back in place. A string line between the two beams will tell me where the two middle beams will sit. With the string line in place, I set a temporary beam onto the plate, just up to the string line. Mark the location where it sits on the plate. Do the same for the next beam and weld the plates on. With all the welds complete, just add some paint and these three beams are ready to bolt in place.
Well, there you have it. The first 4 upright beams bolted in place. A few hiccups along the way, and painting these things white was not the most fun thing to do, but when it's all said and done, I'm sure I'll be glad I did it. And my idea of using the scaffolding and my small shop hoist to lift these things up, I thought worked great. Now, the big test is going to be next week. I got to pick up those big, long, 30-foot beams that are 12 inches wide. So be sure to catch us next week on My Retired Life.